Reaction has been pouring in from around the globe now that the world's richest man has captured one of social media's best-known companies. Elon Musk is buying, you know it, Twitter. How much? $44 billion U.S. The Tesla and SpaceX founder is promising to follow through on some big changes as well. CBC's Alison Northcott is on the story. She joins me live from Montreal. How did this deal come together, Alison?
Well, he first made his offer just under 2 weeks ago, and it came after he had already purchased about 9% of Twitter's shares. And after that, the board had asked him to take a seat on their board. He refused to do that. And then he came forward with this offer to buy the company outright for $54.20 per share. There was some skepticism around that because it wasn't clear if he would be able to come up with the funding and financing for that. In the end, though, he was able to secure the financing, including loans from two Canadian banks, RBC and CIBC, and the $44 billion deal was signed yesterday. So he tweeted shortly after the deal was announced, saying, "Free speech is a bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated." He also said in his statement that he wants to add new features to Twitter, also to open up its algorithm to make it open source, and also to get rid of spam bots. All of this still needs to be approved by Twitter's shareholders and by regulators.
And Alison, Musk described himself as, and I quote, a free speech absolutist. And he's been critical of Twitter's decisions to ban people and block accounts. His critics have their concerns as well, though. What are you hearing?
Yeah, and that's a big question that has been coming up with this purchase is what would an Elon Musk Twitter look like, especially if some of those safeguards and around hate speech and misinformation are taken away. So that's a concern that some people have. And we spoke with one analyst who said the idea that Musk could have, all legal free speech, as he said, is farcical, especially when dealing with multiple jurisdictions. And she was worried about this kind of being a bit of an undoing of some of the governance that has been put in place at Twitter over the last couple of years. Have a listen.
Everything from absolutely no different than it is right now to friends of Elon Musk get special treatment to some type of he gets rid of all of the content moderation services, all of the governance and policy teams, which would mean tons more spam, pornography, all kinds of fake accounts, a lot of things that trust and safety and content moderation sites do that are mostly taking down that type of material or policing that type of material, which makes the site usable.
So we are already hearing from some people who are leaving Twitter over Musk's ownership and over some of those concerns. But it also, for other people, might open the door for them to come back to Twitter. Some of those people who have been barred from the platform in the past, of course, the most notable would be former U.S. President Donald Trump. He was asked about that yesterday on Fox News, and he said he has no plans to return to Twitter.
We'll talk again. That is CBC's Alison Northcott in Montreal.